and sometimes I don't like expanding just because I don't like having a crap load of footmen to deal with. But it is fun having a lot of footmen and just killing peasants in here and there. So this is what I was talking about. It's pretty much who can macro and micro their base better. You know, you always want to keep building footmen if you're expanding. If you're the player that is expanding or not expanding. I think what my opponent could have done better is micro his peasants better right here. Like, he doesn't need all these peasants just coming to my army right now. He can have just, you know, like 5 chasing me back. You know, and on my base right now, I'm just focusing. I think his hero is too far away from Arcane Tower. You pretty much just want to drain the mana on this hero, and then you just use your militia to own his footmen. You're gonna have a crap load of militia because you expand, and you always build more. You always build extra peasants when you expand. So base racing is a lot easier when you expand. That's my point I'm trying to get across. Because his base won't have his base won't have limited will have limited peons. Like, he'll only have a couple, because since he is teching, he can't, you know, build peons when he's teching. Another thing to note, when you're teching and your opponent is expanding, your second hero choice is really important. I really suggest you go with Panda, because when you're versing a player that is expanding and you're not expanding, he's gonna have just a shitload of footmen, and you know, Panda owns footmen. Even if the game becomes you know, like tier 2 versus tier 2, like non-expansion versus non-expansion, you like pretty much always want to get Panda. But for the strat that I'm doing, since I want the game sort of to go late, I'm not saying Panda's bad late game, but I would just prefer him late game, because later on the Breakers own Panda. I know Breaker owns Mountain King too, but it's just better late game in my opinion. For Panda, a lot of people complain, like, not complain. They just think this is a second hero. The second hero matters like a crap load in here mirror. Like, I know it does, but you know, it's not like weird for them to get, like, you know, a Blood Mage second or a Mountain King second or some, you know, not Panda second every game. It's pretty much whatever second hero you get, you have to adjust to. You have to play a lot different. You know, if you get Panda, you have to focus his footmen. When you get Mountain King, you pretty much try to get a hero kill off the bat. You want to get you want him to TP so you have map control so you can creep. You know, it's just little things like that. And right now he is doing the smart thing, I think. He's trying to push my expansion and win like that. You know, like I said earlier, you can do this too. You don't always do it when you're the person that's not expanding. You can win by pushing their main, because if they don't have any guard towers up and just Arcane Tower and their footmen, you're pretty much gonna win early game. Yeah, you're pretty much gonna win early game. But this kid, what is his name? Americo Sisica? I don't even know. Siska. I think he loses like a footman or two. I wasn't really pinching about because I was thinking about what to say to you guys. So if you are the player that is expanding, you pretty much just want to focus the Panda, because he's pretty slow without boots, and your militia can chase things down pretty well. And right here, I'm not really sure what he does. He loses his hero, complains about lag. This isn't really that big of a deal. Like, I can tell you tons of times in here mirror, and I guarantee a lot of you guys have lost their hero on a harass and still came back and won. I know it pretty much backs him off and like stops his push, but you know, it's not that really wasn't like a game decision loss right there. I think he could have pulled off you know, get defend on his footman and harassing my expansion while he was pushing my main, just like right there. But you know, like I said, all the opponents I play aren't the best, but it just gives you a general idea of what to do on Battle Net games. And you know what strats work pretty well, even in non-Battle Net games. If you do league or if you don't league. And by the way, I've been seeing a lot of people saying like this map is new. It's new to Battle Net. This map has been around for so long in leagues. I don't know how many league players I have listening, but they all know that. And this map is not old to most of us because it is in leagues, and we do, you know, you normally do practice on this map versus teams. I mean, versus your teammates, just because it is a quite popular league map. I think every other international or American-based league has this map in their map pool, and this map is, I think this map is pretty good for like pretty much all races. I think it favors Orc mostly just because, you know, it's not a huge map and it has 2 wells. That's awesome for Orc, and it has 2 shops. Orc can just stack up the Blade Master getting circulates, and they can creep the wells with like their solo hero. That's just the advantages that Orc has on this map, and I think every other player that's not Orc can say that. So I know he's gonna try and push me because it would be really stupid for him not to push me right now. So I grab his attention in the middle, and I'm just gonna attack his main. Normally when you expand and when you have your expansion up, you're gonna have some battles before you push, like your initial push to stop him from coming to your base, or like, you know, tower rushing you. You're gonna have some battles, and you are probably gonna lose a lot of footmen. If you don't lose a lot of footmen, that's even better, because after that battle is over and he runs back to his base, and just let you know, you shouldn't lose the battle when you have your expansion up and he's pushing your main or your expansion, because you have peasants at obviously your main and your expansion. You have towers up. You should be repairing. You should have like at least a couple more footmen than him, just because you were tier 1 for so long. And that's another thing. When you're expanding, you know, you want to get like 5 more footmen than normal. Some human players don't realize this. Like, I see some games where they have like 4 footmen. I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, you should be massing footmen into your tier 2. And if you see right now, I haven't stopped building footmen. It's just good for creeping, and when you want to push and kill peasants, if he puts a counter expansion up, you can harass his counter expansion, which will be shown later in this game. Another thing I want to talk about of what I would have done if in this situation, if I was the person that I'm versing right now. If you see your opponent if you see your opponent expanding and you go for like the panda caster thing, like pretty much right when I get like 2 casters up, like 2 priests. I like priests because you can creep a lot easier and you can dispel water elementals. Pretty much right when you get 2 casters up, you just get like, I don't know, 2 IB towers on your hero, and then you go expand, and you're pretty much gonna win early game from that point. I mean, he's gonna have nothing but footmen. You're gonna have like level 2, maybe level 3 panda if you want to power level your panda. I don't know. And it also all depends on, you know, what happened early game, of what level the panda is. But you're pretty much, if you're the person that's not teching, I mean, if you're the person that is teching and didn't expand at tier 1, you're pretty much gonna win the early battles when you have your panda out, because panda owns footmen and caches own footmen, and you can just pretty much like mass sorks versus footmen. Like, you guys know how much sorceresses own grunts. Well, you haven't seen the day until how bad sorceresses own footmen. It's a joke. It's like they have half the HP as grunts, and they just die a lot quicker. You can just right-click the footman with like 8 sources, and you pretty much like win early game. So once he realizes, I think, that he can't do an effective push with me, because he did scout with his footman. I had about 3 towers, and I have my 4th one upgrading right now. He thinks he can't win, so he's doing the right thing and trying to put him in expansion himself, which is what you want to do. But I think he could have had his expansion up by now instead of just fooling around in the middle. So the general unit composition for the strat that I do, you know, when you normally expand and you get Mount King, you want to late game, you pretty much just want to get 2 Arcane Sanctums or Workshop, and then during your tier 3 you want to get your Griffin Aviary. You pretty much have a combination of like casters, mortar, and a Griffin. This is pretty much like, it's like all well-rounded. If he ends up going like just like mass air, you pretty much just switch to like, you know, gyros on your 1 Workshop, and you get like, you know, a D-Hawk or 2 on your Griffin Aviary. Or a lot of games like on Lost Temple, like on bigger maps, like huge maps, when you have like 3 expansions. Pretty much the counter human mirror for everything is like just mass Griffins and mass gyros, because Griffins own all ground and gyros own all air. And I've had a lot of games where it's just like mass gyro Griffin battle. It's pretty fun actually. And if you saw the lovely item that I got, my Mountain King, I get 2 of these this game, which really pisses me off. Once I saw his panda was level 3, you normally don't want to fight when you have all these footmen and your panda is level 3. So since he was coming from the area that he's coming from right now, you know, always look at your opponent's heroes to see what items they have in their inventory. Ring of Regeneration. The gold mine creeps in this map just drops Ring of Regeneration.